joining me today on her first visit to Singapore and Resorts World Sentosa is, of course, a creator, host, and executive producer of America's Next Top Model, businesswoman, TV star, author, and of course, most recently, Harvard graduate. Now, she's an inspiration to a whole new generation, none other than Tyra Banks. Hello, Tyra. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. Well, Tyra, first time in Singapore.
Yes.
First impressions.
First impressions, I feel like the architecture is out of this world. I've never seen buildings like this in life. I've seen drawings of them that actually don't ever get created. They're on the internet and you're like, oh, that's cool. That'll never get built. But like coming off the plane, I'm like, what? That's real? There's the one that looks like a big wave, like whoosh, like right on the water. And then there's the tree things going on right now. And then even the resorts here, it's just beautiful.
Lovely. I mean, we pride ourselves as a garden city, so you see a lot of greenery in the city-state of Singapore as well.
I've heard you want 60% of the city-state to remain green.
Green, that's right.
Yes.
That's what we, yeah. Tyra, we'll go straight into it. Just a few weeks ago, many were shocked actually to hear that you were almost ready to give up after 19 cycles, and that's America's Next Top Model. And quote unquote, I heard you say something like, your baby was almost given up.
Adoption. Yeah. Actually, this was many years ago. Okay. I'm glad you're asking me this because you're the first person to ask me since that interview. So probably 6 or 7 years ago is when I wanted to give up America's Next Top Model. It wasn't now. It was when my stress was at an all-time high. I had a talk show, I had Top Model, I was producing other television, I was still modeling, and there were some days where I had to do business meetings from bed, and I had my staff on my bed meeting with me, and I was shaking. It was just a very difficult time, and I actually thought about bringing somebody else into my place and me producing the show from afar. And then I spoke to my lawyer and a team, and all these people called a meeting and they set me down and they said, this is your baby, right? And I said, yes. And they're like, and you're ready to give your baby up? And I just started thinking, and I was like, and they're like, it's starting to become a worldwide phenomenon. Now it's in this many countries and these people are doing their versions and you can't walk away from this. So I continued to do business meetings from bed for another year. And finally, now I'm understanding delegation and hiring people to do everything that I used to do.
Speaking of stress, Tyra, you were talking about stress management. What does Tyra Banks do to de-stress and to relax? Is it a roller coaster ride, a walk on the beach?
Well, one thing I do love to do is going to amusement parks. It is one of the most favorite things that I enjoy doing. With Universal Studios, when I was a kid, this is before Transformers and Sesame Street experiences, it was just a backlot tour where you get on the tour bus and they take you and say, this is where we filmed Happy Days, and this is where we filmed this. Now we're going to go into this building to show you how Fred Astaire danced on the ceiling in this movie. But that experience and seeing how movies and TV was made actually had a lot to do with me creating America's Next Top Model. So me and amusement parks go far back.
Okay, now you have to visit us at Universal Studios Singapore then in the next few days. Now I want to talk about Harvard Business School. Now I know that it was an excellent and fantastic experience for you, was it?
Yeah, I really loved going to Harvard. I mean, it was very difficult. I had to live in the dorms, and it was non-negotiable. But once I was in the dorms, I was really happy. But my first year there, I was the only girl in my living group, so it was like 8 guys and me in our pajamas at midnight studying together in our living room. But it really changed my views of my business and how to run a business, how to grow a business. Understanding competition, that sometimes competition is a good thing because it makes the market bigger. Understanding the need to have a strategy and then to trade off and to say, okay, I want to do these 10 things, but I can't do them all great. So I'm going to get rid of 7 things and concentrate on 3. So it really taught me a lot, but it was so hard, especially getting called on when you're not super prepared, maybe. Some days.
And Tyra, you've spoken up against, obviously, certain aspects of the modern industry. For example, its obsession with girls who are perhaps, absolutely stick thin.
Yes.
What advice do you give to your fans in this region who perhaps look up to these girls who may give the wrong impression?
Yeah, I think, looking at a model and looking at her for her ability to model and move her body in very interesting creative shapes, yes, I think that's a great thing. It shows that she's a master of her craft. Looking up to a model who's professional and is on time and seems to be really smart and not abusing drugs and alcohol and doing kind of crazy things, great. looking at a model and seeing that her body is a size 0, and a type of body that is pretty much almost impossible to live up to, and wanting that body and doing crazy things to get that body is not a good thing. So I encourage girls to look at fashion magazines as entertainment, but then close it. Very similar to how a young boy might go to a basketball game and see LeBron James play and knows that he's not 6'7" feet tall, and so it's the only thing is the difference is society tells the young girl that she's not good enough unless she looks like that fashion model. So what I do with America's Next Top Model is I try to show a myriad of different models. We have skinny models, we have plus size models, which are officially real. We have shorter girls, so we have a nice mix to show girls that there's so many different types.
And obviously that makes it a lot more real, and it's reflective of what the world is, obviously.
I think that's why the show is successful and why it's in Asia now and why we're in so many countries around the globe, is that we're not talking about a stereotypical type of beauty, we're talking about so many different types of beauty. And it started with just America, but I think what happened is it made the world go, wait, in Asia we have different types of beauty, in India we have different types of beauty, and so I think that's really what sparked it, as being original.
We know that you have a collaboration with Girls Home in New York. Tell us a little bit more about that. Yeah.
So I have an organization, a foundation called the Tyra Banks T-Zone. And for years, I would take girls into the mountains in Los Angeles and facilitate discussions and team building adventures based on self-esteem. Recently, I partnered with the Lower East Side Girls Club, and we're creating a 30,000 square foot huge facility for young girls for after school. We have a yoga studio, we have a dance studio, a bakery open to the public, a digital lab, a science center, a recording studio. We have a planetarium, a screening room. The girls can dream really big because they can see all the different things that they can do in life. And so my part of this program is the Tyra Banks T-Zone, which is the leadership center in the program. So all of the girls must go through the T-Zone because we take care of who she is as a person, her body, her spirit, her mind, so that she's able to do all of these activities in a really, a really healthy state. Yeah, and it opens in 2013. And we're doing a big fundraiser in October. It's called the Flossom Ball. I always make up these words. So this is a word I've been using lately. It's called Flossom, which means your flaws are awesome. Flossom. So yeah, the Flossom Ball is coming to raise money for us to complete this facility. Yes.
All right, good luck on that, Tyra. And once again, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for visiting us in Singapore and Resorts World Sentosa.
Should I say shishi? Should I say terima kasih?
Xie xie, terima kasih. Thank you.